In the heart of Sweden lives a mysterious family worth billions of dollars, a family that has quietly taken control over almost everything happening in the world, yet whose name you've probably never heard. For 6 generations, the Wallenbergs have turned being unknown into a superpower. They expanded their wealth and influence, silently, behind the scenes. They helped save tens of thousands of victims from Nazi Germany. But at the same time, they also collaborated with the Nazis, taking part in their financial operations. While wars raged, governments fell and rose again, and others struggled to survive. The Wallenberg family's power only grew. Today, their influence stretches from AstraZeneca to Ericsson, and even to massive corporations listed on NASDAQ, quietly touching every part of our lives. Yet you won't see their names anywhere. Not on luxury yachts, not in diamond showcases, not even on billionaire lists. That's why the Wallenbergs have perfected the art of staying mysterious. They achieved this through cleverly designed foundations, which kept their extraordinary wealth hidden. But this raises some intriguing questions. How can one family hold so much wealth without anyone noticing? Who are these families that have secretly shaped the world for 6 generations? The story of the family begins with André Oscar Wallenberg. At that time, Sweden's economy was far from what it is today. It had strength, but little money. During a visit to America, André, then a naval officer, came across a book titled How to Own a Bank. That book changed his life. In 1856, he founded Stockholms and Skilda Banken, SEB, Sweden's first private bank. André's idea was simple but revolutionary. He would gather small investments from people, reinvest them into the economy, and strengthen the nation. This vision was later adopted by his son, Knut Agathon Wallenberg, who transformed the bank into an international powerhouse. In 1916, when a law was passed preventing banks from holding too many shares, the family founded Investor AB, a move that would define their future. Since Knut and his wife Alice had no children, they dedicated their fortune to Sweden's growth. In 1917, they established the Knut and Alice Wallenberg Foundation, which would fund research in science, technology, and medicine, extending the family's power beyond finance. After Knut, Marcus Wallenberg Sr. took over the family's mission. He was an extremely productive man, almost obsessively so, and cared nothing for luxury or appearances, only for investments. His influence could be seen in giants like ABB, Atlas Copco, Scania, and Stora Enso. After World War I devastated Europe, Marcus became known as the mediator of the continent. When his brother Knut transferred all his wealth to the foundation, Marcus was furious. But ultimately, that decision protected the family's fortune and made their power indestructible. Marcus's sons, Jacob and Marcus Jr., came to prominence during World War II. Although Sweden appeared neutral, the Wallenbergs traded with both the Allies and Nazi Germany. Rumors spread that SEB Bank helped organize and manage assets seized from Jews by Nazi Germany. At the same time, they secretly communicated with the German resistance, planning to assassinate Hitler. Jacob Wallenberg was one of the contact points for that resistance. But after the failed assassination attempt in 1944, returning to Berlin would have meant certain death. Meanwhile, Raoul Wallenberg, a distant relative, saved tens of thousands of Hungarian Jews from death. He created fake Swedish passports, rescued people from deportation trains, and prevented the destruction of the Budapest ghetto, saving over 72,000 lives. However, after the war, he was arrested by the Soviets under suspicion of espionage and was never seen again. After the war, U.S. records suggested that the Wallenbergs financially supported Nazi Germany. The U.S. Treasury even placed the brothers on a specially blocked persons list. Distrust began to grow among the Swedish public. But the family rebuilt both their reputation and empire. They even established business ties with the Soviets, at one point offering a $255 million loan to Stalin. Did they ever use their power to negotiate Raoul's release? No one knows for sure. Marcus Jr.'s son, Mark Wallenberg, was expected to lead the family next. But in 1971, at the age of 47, he took his own life, a devastating blow to the family. His brother, Peter Wallenberg, took over instead. Peter had started from the very bottom at Atlas Copco in Africa, and no one ever expected him to rise to leadership. Yet he did rebuilding the family's influence, consolidating control over major corporations, and creating Patricia Industries, a new model of investment. Today, the fifth generation Jacob Wallenberg, Peter Wallenberg Jr., and Marcus Wallenberg runs the family's empire. Their business network is estimated to be worth around €255 billion. Yet none of them appear on Forbes' billionaire lists because most of their wealth is hidden within foundations. This system allows them to avoid heavy taxation and keep their wealth intact through generations. The combined value of companies influenced by the Wallenbergs exceeds $650 billion. In Sweden, there's a saying, no matter who comes to power, they must serve the Wallenbergs. The family's motto is, ad vara, inte sinnes, to be, not to be seen. They value influence over visibility. They avoid interviews, publicity, and attention, focusing instead on power, control, and the modern institutions they've built. Today, opposing the Wallenbergs is seen almost as opposing Sweden itself. And that's why, even after 6 generations, they remain one of the quietest yet most powerful families shaping the modern world. What truly makes the Wallenbergs extraordinary is not just their wealth, but their philosophy of management. While many powerful dynasties crave visibility, the Wallenbergs realized that true influence flourishes in silence. They have built a system where their power is not tied to dignity or glory, but to continuity. For them, legacy is not a name carved in marble, but an invisible current that guides future generations. Every generation is steered to think not like a businessman, but like a patron. They are trained not for showmanship, but for politics and diplomacy. They do not chase popular things. They build the elements that define them. From universities to research institutes, from national banks to global corporations, their fingerprints can be found in almost every corner of Swedish prosperity. The secret to their power lies in the foundations they have established. Over 30 Wallenberg foundations control the major corporations of Swedish industry, providing support to universities, research institutions, and technological innovations. They donate billions of dollars every year, yet their wealth seems never to diminish. It only grows through carefully designed trusts and reinvestments. Through this system, philanthropy becomes preservation, and generosity becomes power. Unlike other financial powers that crumble under ego or internal strife, the Wallenbergs are indestructible because they think not in years, but in centuries. They know that power is like oxygen, invisible, but the building block of life, and they choose not to be the known faces of the country, but its lungs. Yet, some people investigate whether this silence is concealing more mysterious truths. Can an ordinary family possess so much power without crossing ethical boundaries? Is it possible to serve a nation consistently while being its most crucial power? These questions are rarely asked in modern Sweden. Their control is so deeply woven into the national fabric that even executives think twice before mentioning their name. Still, one thing is undeniable. Their actions have worked. They have transformed a small, resource-poor country into one of the world's most powerful and advanced economies. From fighter jets to vaccines, from high welfare standards to artificial intelligence, the Wallenberg's resources are rooted in the technologies that define the 21st century. They have become a role model for covert capitalism, a system where wealth is concealed within corporations, power is wielded through boards of directors, and popularity is replaced by influence. In a world obsessed with attention, they consider fanfare unnecessary, and perhaps that is what makes them so effective. The sixth generation is already excited about the continuation of the legacy. They completely avoid visibility, unlike the ruthless billionaires of Silicon Valley. They shun sharing. They do not brag, they simply do their job. They know that empires built on noise quickly collapse, but those built on discipline and stability will endure forever. As the global economy heads towards uncertainty, the Wallenbergs appear as proof that the old world of silent power is not yet gone. In their story lies a life lesson for every country and every leader. You do not need to be known to change the future. Sometimes the greatest power belongs to those who remain in silence, those who listen, guide, and wait for a story to begin.